Hello and welcome to Meals with Maria. Today I have 5 meals for you, 5 fabulous dinners for only $30 from Dollar General. I took a trip over there. I don't normally go, so I wanted to check things out, see how it was. I was surprised to find a sign on the door that said, "Sorry for the inconvenience, but prices may not be as shown." So I had to ask them what was up with that, and they said that basically everything was increasing by 10 or 15%. That's right, inflation right at our own Dollar General. And they just didn't have time to change over all of the tags yet, but the system had updated it. So they probably are looking for help too. I was able to find some pretty good things, and I feel like all of these dinners are really hearty and delicious. Now, they are definitely tried and true recipes, as in things that you've seen before, but I don't want to bore you. So I did bring you some TikTok hacks and new ways to do things. We're trying out some new styles of cooking, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope that you learn something in this video and get some great ideas to feed your family for less. Now, my family is a family of 5. That's 2 adults, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, I'm gonna say this in a weird order, and a 10-month-old. And although the 10-month-old may be small, he is mighty and does eat a lot. So all of the meals comfortably feed at least 4 to 5, if not more. Some of them end up with leftovers. I'll start off by showing you what I got at Dollar General, and then we'll get into the meals. So here is my Dollar General haul for 30 bucks and 15 cents. We had whole wheat bread at $1.50. Now this ground beef killed me at $6, but we're gonna use half of it for a like a ramen dish and half of it for tacos. So I think that'll be pretty good. The sharp cheddar is way more expensive. It was like $2.65, and that's that for me at least. I think like Walmart's $2.22 around here. I got this stand and stuff kit because it was on sale for $2.50, which was a really good deal. And you get the taco sauce and the seasoning mix. And we have birthdays coming up. Tommy and Julian. Actually, they probably will have passed by the time that this posts, but they love Mario.
I don't love Mario.
Okay. Julian loves Kirby. I got ramen noodles, 45 cents each. It's a much better deal to buy the 5-pack for, I think it's like $1.25, which is similar to Dollar Tree. But I didn't want to spend the extra money, so I just bought 2 packets just to be fine. So I didn't want to spend the extra money, so I spent 90 cents and I saved, 35 cents? But for 35 cents, I could have got 4 more packages, so really the best deal is to buy the big package. I got some spaghetti for $1, which is much better. Well, Dollar Tree has the bigger packages, but it's a good deal for $1.
I see a new ability.
Rice for a pound was $1.50, so you can get a better deal somewhere else, but that's, like if you have Dollar General, these are your prices.
Yeah.
The Alfredo sauce was, I think, $2.65, which I wish I could have gotten for a better price, but that is what it is. Pasta, Alfredo, broccoli, and probably make some like garlic bread type stuff with the toast, or just put on the side, bread, whatever. I got refried beans because we're going to use half of the meat for tacos, and then we'll mix it with refried beans to add some extra bulk, and those were $1. Mixed vegetables, these were 75 cents a piece, and I'll use those for a fried rice and something else. Now that I think about it, I think I actually ended up with an extra can of mixed vegetables, so I hurt myself by 75 cents. I could have got the extra ramen. That's okay. We'll just use lots of veggies and something. It'll be good. Brown and serves and eggs and toast, so that's breakfast for dinner one night. We'll do a fried rice type thing with the eggs and the mixed vegetables. We'll do the broccoli Alfredo thing. We'll do the dinner kit with the cheddar for the tacos. And then for ramen, we're going to do ramen with half of the ground beef, some broccoli, and you know what? We'll probably put some mixed vegetables in there because we have an extra can. So we're going to have lots of veggies in that, like a veggie heavy, but ground beef crumbles in that too. So we're going to make it into like a stir fry. And it will be delicious. 5 meals for 30 bucks. All right, we're going to start off by making a ground beef teriyaki ramen, and I am just going to cook my broccoli according to the package instructions in the microwave, make it nice and easy. I have taken half of my tube of ground beef and put that in the bottom of a wok, but you can just use a big frying pan, whatever you have. And you just want to brown that up really nicely for about 6 to 8 minutes. Now you can totally just use the beef packet that comes with the ramen and go that way if you don't have a lot of spices on hand, but I'm going to use what I have. So I'm using 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm mixing that with a 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar, and then It calls for a half a cup of soy sauce, but I didn't have a half a cup of soy sauce in this particular day, and I'm just using the rest of my packets from takeout. So that's a good tip. Save those packets you have extra, and then you can use it in a meal like this. And then a quarter cup of sugar. Now, because I didn't have all of the soy sauce that I needed, I felt like I was going to be missing some umami and some salt. So I did take one of the beef packets and actually add that into my sauce. And then I added a quarter cup of water to kind of fill out the sauce since the beef packet didn't have any liquid. At that same time, you just want to cook that all together for a couple of minutes, and I am making up my ramen noodles. The back of the package says to cook these for 3 minutes, but I'm going to cook them for 2 instead so that they don't get completely soggy by the time that I put them into my stir fry. I do want to cook them a little bit in the pan and make sure that that doesn't get soggy. Now I have microwaved my broccoli according to the package instructions, and I'm just going to mix that in with my beef. And then when my noodles come out, I'm just going to drain them and pour them right into my stir fry. And you can cook that for about a minute, just heating everything all the way through and making sure that the sauce gets all over the ramen. And wow, this is quite the recipe. It is so delicious, and it definitely doesn't feel like you're eating on a budget. The whole family absolutely loved this meal, and you can eat it as is and it's absolutely fabulous, or you can zhuzh it up with anything that you have at home. So I had some sliced scallions, and then I had these wonton crisps from Dollar Tree. I always try and make sure I keep these on hand because they're so delicious and so crispy. They're $1.25. They're such a cheap salad or ramen addition, and they're just wonderful to add over the top. I also had some toasted sesame seeds, so why not sprinkle those on there too and make this extremely fancy for almost nothing. For this next meal, we are making tacos, and I know we are all sick of tacos, so I'll try not to get into it too much. But I do promise you I'm going to add something special to this meal. We are going to make an easy Spanish rice, and because I accidentally bought those extra vegetables, and you can see that I did not use them in my ramen dish, I actually swapped them out for what would be a small can of tomato sauce. We're going to get something really good going here by using our extra rice and a can of tomato sauce and making a fabulous Spanish rice dish. In a medium saucepan over medium heat, add either 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of oil, or 2 tablespoons of oil or 2 tablespoons of butter, or whatever combination of that you want. And then you want to add your rice and stir to coat with that oil or butter, and cook, stirring frequently for about 2 minutes until that rice is nice and toasty. And then add in 1.5 cups of water or chicken broth or bone broth or whatever you have. If you're just using water, just add a little bit of salt to that. I am actually going to use chicken bouillon because I have that on hand, so I'm using 3.5 tablespoons to add to my 1.5 cups of water. Then you want to add about a cup of tomato sauce and stir. I was just using tomato sauce that I had on hand already, but I'm banking on the fact that you can probably get a small can of plain tomato sauce at Dollar General for around 50 cents. Add 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of chili powder, and stir. And then you're going to increase your heat to high and bring to a boil. And then you want to reduce your heat to low and place a lid on the pot and cook for about 20 minutes. So as you can see, that's such a simple recipe with things that you may already have on hand, and can be such an inexpensive elevation to what would normally be just a plain taco dinner. For my tacos, I'm going to use the other half of my ground beef and add in my refried beans. Then you just want to follow the package instructions on the taco seasoning by adding a little bit of water and that seasoning and letting it simmer for a few minutes, and you're going to have a delicious taco filling that you only had to use 1/2 pound of ground beef for. So maybe this is a tip you've heard many times, maybe it's a brand new one, but I had to share. I just followed the instructions on the package for the taco shells. I put some taco sauce in that bowl because it comes with the kit, and I shredded up about half of my cheddar cheese. And sometimes you get a little distracted as a parent and you let your rice go a little bit too long. This still tasted amazing, and it was such a nice way to use so few ingredients, but I did overcook it just a little bit. It was stuck to the bottom of the pan, but it was such a great addition to our taco meal, and I hope that you try it. Okay, for this next meal, we have another easy peasy dinner. We're just cooking spaghetti according to the package. Now, your choice on whether you want to make the whole thing up or not depends on how much your family eats or if you want to have leftovers. But you actually don't need the entire pound for the 5 of us. That's quite a bit of pasta. It was a lot of food. Now, alternatively, we probably could have done like that ramen dish with these noodles instead of buying ramen noodles. So that's a different option, something to think about. All right, so the elevating factor on this meal is actually going to be our garlic bread. I scoured the internet and TikTok, as usual, to find something fun and new and inventive, and there was an idea for garlic bread pinwheels. So I'm just making up a quick garlic butter using about a half a stick of butter, but you could use margarine, you could use oil, whatever you have, and my butter is softened. That's important. About a teaspoon of garlic powder and about a quarter teaspoon of parsley flakes. Now, you could use fresh garlic, you use fresh parsley, that's all a choice as well. Whatever you like to use to make your garlic butter, make it up, do it. Now to make these pinwheels, this is actually recommended for like spread that's stale or maybe crusty or was left out. Mine is actually pretty fresh, but this is also a great thing for when you do have that stale or crusty bread. We're going to cut like a square out of the inside, almost like we're going to make eggs in a hole or eggs in a basket, or, you know, we have a million names for that thing. And leave the outside available, but we're going to cut to the corner so that kind of makes a strip. Basically, we're going to make a crust strip, if you will. And then you will need some toothpicks, or I have like longer skewers, and you want to roll that bread up almost like a circular lollipop or like a pinwheel, right? And kind of make it as circular as possible. I mean, mine didn't turn out perfectly, but I don't know. It was just fun to do something different. And they end up looking like these little pinwheel lollipop things. And like I said, yeah, just something different. And don't worry, we will use the inside of that bread too. This is also a great thing. Like if you want to use the inside of that bread to make like a meatball or something like that, you could totally use that. I just ended up adding the garlic butter to mine and making just like teeny little garlic bread toasts as well. And then you just want to top those pinwheels with a generous amount of that garlic butter. And then these would be absolutely lovely as they are, but you could totally add cheese to them. So if you have Parmesan cheese or shredded Parmesan or mozzarella or something like that on hand, you can sprinkle that over the top and that would be delicious. Because I had that leftover cheddar cheese, I decided to use that because I didn't use all of it for my tacos. So I put some on top of there. And if I had bacon bits, I think that bacon would be so amazing on this. Maybe even a sprinkling of ranch seasoning. I may go crazy and learn more about pinwheels as time goes on because they were so wonderful and so fun to make. I just broiled those pinwheels for about 3 minutes just till my butter melted and my cheese got bubbly. And during that time, I just finished up my pasta. So I poured in the Alfredo sauce, poured in my cooked broccoli. I just cooked that in the microwave according to the package instructions. Shocker. And that's it. That's dinner. And you get vegetables, and you get pasta, and you get garlic bread. I mean, pretty good stuff.
Noodles good, bud?
All right, it is time for another recipe that I've been seeing everywhere. It's like a new thing. Maybe it's an old thing. I don't know. We're cooking rice like pasta in order to make a sheet pan fried rice, which is also new to me too. We are filling a pot about 3/4 full of water, and we're going to bring to boil over high heat, seasoning the water like the sea. It needs to taste like the sea. And once the water is boiling, I added the rest of my rice, which is a little over a cup. Bring the heat down to medium and cook for about 8 minutes. You just want to check for doneness. We want our rice to be kind of al dente, and then you're going to strain it just like you would strain out your pasta. And the cool thing about this is, look, it's fluffy and it didn't stick to the bottom of my pan. I added a tablespoon of butter, but you don't necessarily have to do that. Also, if you have oil, that's an option as well. And this cooked so well and it was so amazing, and I feel like it took a lot less time. Once that rice is done, you do want to put a cover over it and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And voila, we have cooked our rice like pasta. I will put this recipe in the description box below for you because I know I went through it kind of fast, but it was just a fun new method for, we got to try new cooking methods all the time. Things are always changing. It's time to try new things, which is why I decided to make a sheet pan fried rice. I saw someone else do this and I was like, you know what? How have I not done it yet? I love it. It turned out great. So I'm pouring all of that cooked rice onto my sheet pan. If you can cook it the day before, please do, because it will be a crispier rice. Like, it's recommended to cook your rice ahead of time. But if you can't, that's totally fine too. I cooked mine the same day, and you know what? It all worked out. It was all delicious. So to my rice, I'm going to add in a drained can of mixed vegetables. I was surprised there was potatoes in there. I'm like, is this going to be good in a fried rice? It was fine. It was delicious. I would have it every day. Not a problem. Now we're going to season up our rice with about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. Then we do a teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. Now, if you have fresh of any of these things, go ahead and add them in. The recipe actually calls for fresh onion and fresh garlic. It's 2 cloves of garlic and 1/2 cup of diced onion. And then I'm just going to pour some oil over this to kind of give it something to cook in and mix everything together really well. Just want to arrange this in an even layer, and then we're going to broil this for 8 to 10 minutes. About 8 minutes seemed like the sweet spot for me, and you do want to stir about halfway through. After that 8 minutes, you want to take this out, and then I'm going to drizzle it with soy sauce. So use as much as you like. I think the recipe calls for a tablespoon, but I think I used probably like 2 or 3. Go ahead and mix it up, get everything well coated in that soy sauce, and then you're going to spread the rice back out, and we're going to make 4 wells because we're going to put eggs in here. Now, if you don't have soy sauce, I think the rice itself with all that garlic powder and onion powder is going to be very flavorful, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Or like I said, save those packets when you can. Using these eggs today is going to leave us with 8 eggs left for breakfast for dinner, which is going to be fine for my family. So just crack the eggs into the wells, and then we're going to continue to broil this for another 3 minutes until the eggs are set. Now, this depends on how you like your eggs. I like a runny egg, so 3 minutes was perfect for me. If you want to do more of an over hard, or if you'd even like to scramble these eggs before you even put them in the wells, that's going to be totally fine. You probably want to cook it closer to 5 minutes. I do encourage you that if you have not tried a runny egg with a fried rice like this before, to give it a shot, because it gives the rice this amazing sauce to go with it, and it is just fabulous. It's a great, great flavor. There's something about soy sauce and egg yolk. They should be best friends. Okay, it's breakfast for dinner time, and I couldn't come up with anything groundbreaking, but just remember to use all of your ingredients. And when you buy for 5 meals at a time, you can save money because you can roll things over. So buying ahead of time is a big money saver. Making a meal plan will save you tons of money. We're able to use these eggs, this bread, and just this sausage to have a delicious meal. One of my kids' favorites. They're like, breakfast for dinner, it's time. They're so excited. I'm just scrambling my eggs. You can cook them however you like. If you have some milk and some maple syrup, you could even make French toast and make it even more of a fun option. Their options are really endless. I just opt to microwave my sausage links because that's how I like to do it. You can cook them in a pan, do whatever you want, and then let everybody have their bread however they want. My kids are like, they don't like theirs toasted. I don't toast it. We don't have to do it a certain way. everything is great. I hope that you got some great ideas from this meal plan and got to try some new things, some new TikTok stuff. You guys let me know in the comments below if you're liking this new style of kind of adding in different types of ways of cooking things. So I feel like, we have to learn something new, and I'm hoping that it's helpful. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I have lots of other fun videos coming up, and I am posting 3 times a week. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all very soon.